In this video, we're going to take a tour of the training area that we use when launching from Redcliffe Airfield. My name's Mick, and here we go. Departing Redcliffe, we're going to track northwest along the coast at 1000 towards the Caboolture River mouth. Crossing the Caboolture River mouth, we're going to change to the Caboolture CTAF frequency of 125.85. Making a left-hand turn, we track towards the Glasshouse Mountains until we come to Caboolture Aerodrome. Close to Caboolture, we want to stay at 1500 to avoid any traffic in the circuit area. The main roads running west from Caboolture become the southern edge of the training area. As you track west, you'll have Mount Mee on your left and the Glasshouse Mountains on your right. About halfway along the southern boundary, we'll come up to these two quarries here, located north and south of the main east-west road. When you look north from this point, you'll see the main Glasshouse Mountains take up the middle of the training area. Continuing away from Caboolture, we pass overhead the town of Woodford. Shortly after this, we reach the most western edge of the training area. There's a prison here that stands out as a navigation feature. Further west is the town of Kilcoy and the very top end of Somerset Dam. Looking back to the east, you can see the Glasshouse Mountains, and again the direction we've just come from, Caboolture. The northwestern boundary of the training area curves around the foothills, and we track across the north of Mount Brisbane and the township of Peachester. Mount Brisbane is the largest of the Glasshouse Mountains and is easily visible from anywhere in the training area. The training area does extend a little bit further north of where we are now, but you start to get close to the Sunshine Coast control zone. If you head directly east, you'll reach Caloundra. On the way across to Caloundra, you'll cross the Bruce Highway, which is very easy to see. Let's gain some height now and get another perspective on the training area. So we started here at Redcliffe and we tracked the coast, and then we came across towards Caboolture and then continued west out along the road to the edge of the training area. We then tracked back in around the foothills to the north of Glasshouse Mountains, back to where we are here, and we're looking down at Caloundra. This is Caloundra, which is the second airfield in the training area. It's all on the same frequency on 125.85. Again, two strips here, and there's two concrete helipads we may use later in training. And you can see where the main hangars are. From here, if you're departing on the runway, you need to track out over the water before we turn to keep clear of the houses. And then we can track down the beach. All this area in front of us is all part of the training area, all on the coastline here of Bribie Island. From the southeastern corner of Bribie Island, we can look back through the middle of the training area, all the way out to the Glasshouse Mountains, and again back up to the right, just north of Caloundra. Caboolture Airfield is approximately where the cursor is in front of us. To get home, we're going to track the coast of Deception Bay back around to the small township called Beachmere. From overhead Beachmere, we can look across the bay back to Redcliffe Airfield, and we also pick up again the Caboolture River mouth that runs around Beachmere out to the west. Typically want to be 1,500 feet tracking inbound to Redcliffe, and we now change to 127.15 for the inbound frequency. Tracking inbound, we follow the edge of the houses as we come around Deception Bay, and then continue to track over towards Bunnings. As we get up in the airfield, we want to look, and once we've crossed the runway centre line, we can now start to descend from 1,500. All the traffic and what we call the live side is on the north of the airfield. The south of the airfield is what we call the dead side. That's where we can manoeuvre. So we'll come in from the south, turn and position ourselves overhead the Aeropower building, traveling at 90 degrees to the runway, and this will put us on a midfield crosswind. From here, we can cross the runway and turn left or right as we need to rejoin the active circuit. In this case, we're going to join runway 07, fly our normal circuit for a landing. And that's it. That's a tour of our training area. Thank you very much for coming along for the ride.